Throughout my years of active addiction, I would be told from professionals and people in recovery that you can't get clean for your kids, for your family, for your job. You have to do it for you. And in my personal experience, that's crap, because I didn't think much of myself when I stopped using. The strength I sourced was out of duty to my family. I just want to showcase for you guys that it starts, like for me in my experience, my recovery started for my family and then eventually became about me, but it did not start that way. Video diary entry 1, October 11th, 2016. I feel like the biggest piece of shit on the planet for poisoning my body how I have, knowing that he didn't do that and he's gonna lose his life in the next year. The guilt that I felt from poisoning myself was so heavy, because no matter how much I poisoned myself, I still drew breath and he didn't. And so, you know. I feel so many things, but what good thing that I feel is the motivation to be more than what I have, so that my mom isn't left feeling so alone in the boat without her children. I tell people often that for me, accountability bred recovery for me. Without stumbling into accountability, I would have never stayed in recovery, you know, and this is what I mean by that. You know, family has just done, and I've dealt with a lot, but I did a lot, and I failed a lot, and I lied a lot, and I hurt a lot, and I poisoned myself a lot. When Sean's cancer strengthened to the point that we had to accept that it was going to steal him from this world, my mission became clear. It took me a while to accomplish that mission, but it was at that point that I knew I had to get it together. All he ever asked me was to stop using, and towards the end of his human experience here, he asked me to not make our mother bury us both, lose us both. And that became the mission. I have to not let this situation my brother is going through be in vain. Good has to come of it. And it will, because it has to. I don't think he'll ever know how much I love him. I haven't watched even a fraction of the video journals that I have because, you know, small doses, right? But I had made a video to Sean the same day, October 11th of 2016. And man, watching that, the clips I'm going to share with you are very personal to me, but meaningful and supporting the message I'm trying to give. Hey Sean, I've thought about you nonstop, and I've thought about life nonstop, and I've thought about mom nonstop, and I know that we've always been on two different sides of the fence. Thank God for that, right? I know that you are such an exceptional man, and I am privileged to call you my brother. Sean was so good. He was always good. Like, Sean was the epitome of the good kid. Like, we really were on two sides of the fence. Like, if you told Sean, if mom told Sean, don't do drugs, they're bad. Sean's like, okay, they're bad. Tell me, Courtney, don't do drugs. And I'm like, but why? But how come? Yeah. I'm a learn the hard way kind of kid, and he wasn't. Mom said no crying, so I'm over here kind of petrified to cry. So we don't want to mess with Teresa. My mom is so tough. You know, Sean had health issues his entire life. And when I say my mom is tough as nails, she's tough as nails. She didn't want the crying, Even when Sean was young, nobody better cry around him when he was having the shunt put in. Nobody better cry. You better keep yours together, you know, because he was going through that. And she kept that very same energy during his cancer journey. And so she didn't want me to send him videos of me like hysterical because, you know, obvious reasons. I've never known a more tough woman in my life than my mother. And Sean loved her so much. Like, the relationship that they have, because you don't lose that relationship when someone passes. It still very much exists. I model my relationship with my kids as well off of that. But I want you to know that I love you. And for you, I'll move mountains. Get my poop in a group. Because mom deserves that. And you deserve that. And Gabby deserves that. Then that's what I'm going to do. When I made this video and I said those things and I said I was going to stop and that for him I would move mountains and that my mom and Gabby and him and my family deserves it, I was just saying it. I didn't believe it. Part of me meant it, but the yank of IV drug use was strong. And right after I made the video, I loaded up a shot. I'll be there to annoy you real soon. Love ya. When I told him I would be there soon, I didn't end up seeing him until the next summer, a couple weeks before he passed. And I was so dope sick. I brought cottons. He told me I could not come to Florida, period, if I brought drugs. And so in my brain, bringing cottons was not bringing dope. It was hard to see him like that and hard to know that I was dope sick the last time I saw my brother, but I got to apologize to him, which I'm forever grateful to one of my best friends, Tina, for that, because I don't know that I would have stopped using with that layer of guilt for not ever been able to apologize to him and hold his hands and tell him how much he means to me and how much I love him and how I'm going to fix this. Even then, I didn't know that I meant it. But let me say, when you hear people tell you you can't get clean or stay clean or stop using for anybody but you, that's garbage. You can start to stop using. You can start recovery for somebody else. Duty to your family, duty to your kids. You know what I mean? Like, duty to your tribe. And if that gets you through the door and then recovery becomes about you, then that's a beautiful thing. So don't listen to people that say that. I wanted to share that I couldn't let Sean's passing be in vain, and I didn't. You know, I didn't get off drugs until 6 months after he passed, so he never got to see me the way that I am. Well, I believe he does. I believe he's here. I'm very spiritual, so I can feel that he's proud. July 17th was tragic for so many, you know. In 2014, the Malaysia flight went down. In 1996, the TWA flight went down. And in 2017, my brother was stolen from us. So it is forever cancer over here. We do recover, and it doesn't really matter how we get there, as long as we do. And this is in memory of my brother's 6-year passing. I hope that it's been insightful and that maybe it made you think of somebody in your life that deserves your recovery. And I hope that you make the right decision today. Love you guys.